Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. No outdoor video today, super loud out there, people working in the yards, but I still want to bring out some information that I'm looking at here regarding the Tesla story. The latest, which is Tesla is looking to build out a battery factory with Panasonic in India. Now this is of course on the backs of Elon Musk and President Modi from India meeting recently in New York. As you know, or you may not know this, but in the last couple of weeks, Modi came to visit the United States, and Elon Musk and him sat down for a meeting, and the conversations seemed to have gone really well. And Elon Musk sort of alluded to the fact that Tesla will be doing something in the country in the coming months and potentially year. And so this is yet another thing that has happened. You know the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. It really does look like Tesla is looking to start an operation in India. Now, a different part of the story is that Tesla is looking to get a manufacturing plant running that's going to start at about 500,000 cars per year capacity. This is, of course, very similar to what Tesla is doing today with Berlin in Germany, where it started with plans to go with 500,000 units per year. But now we're getting news out of that country that that's going to be ramped up to 1 million units per year, given some of the permits that have been filed. And so one would expect that the India factory, if it is to be real, and I think based on all the news that we're getting lately, and especially with Elon Musk and Modi meeting, it seems like this is just inevitable. It's a matter of time. I think India is probably going to go down the same path where they'll start the project with 500,000 units per year. And then depending on how much land they get, which in my opinion, I think they'll probably get as much land as they possibly can, similar to the Austin factory and the Austin project. They'll start with 500,000, then ramp up to 1 million, and then eventually to 2 million units per year, or perhaps even more. Now, from the standpoint of what kind of cars they would offer in India, India has about 1.4 billion people, is the largest country in the world right now by population. It just surpassed China very recently. In case you didn't know that, freaking so many people in that country. But there is a couple things with India from an infrastructure perspective. They're not as well developed as, say, a United States or other Western societies. However, they are building out very, very quickly. And there's definitely a segment of the population that would be able to afford and be able to use vehicles that Tesla would offer. Not all 1.4 billion people will have access to it, obviously, but a significant percentage of the population would. And so what's going to be interesting here is to see what kind of car Tesla will introduce in that country from a segment perspective. My gut tells me is that they probably would introduce the Model Y, the SUV, as sort of their, let's call it the flagship brand, just to cater to, say, the more affluent buyer in India. And then I would fully expect them to introduce the Model 2, or in this case, the compact car, or the model, whatever you want to call it, in the country as well, which will allow them to really reach those higher levels. Now, I could be wrong with the Model Y piece. A lot of people are saying that they'll just start right away with the compact car. However, the 500,000 unit rumor kind of tells me that, hey, maybe Model 2 or the compact car is not really the leading car there. It might just be the Model Y. But again, I could be 100% wrong on that. Now, sort of extrapolating that out into the future, and what does that mean? You take that factory and you assume say a 1 to 2 million unit per year run rate in the next, say, 5 to 10 years, even though they're starting at 500,000. Again, if we take the other factories and how they're performing, then if you take that factory, you layer on Mexico, which we know is being built and it will have a 2 million unit capacity over the long term. Berlin's expansion to 1 million per year. Fremont, whoops, I almost dropped my phone. Fremont, Austin, and whatever other factories they might announce or are out there. It's pretty conceivable to see that Tesla is really starting to ramp to that 10 million unit per year mark somewhere in the 2026 to 2027 year time frame. Now that sounds kind of crazy to a lot of people, because say Toyota and GM, these brands, these automakers are making almost that much per year now, and they've been around for a really long time. And based on the math that we have now on these brands, it looks like Tesla might be able to reach that number as long as Mexico build-out goes well and this India factory happens, and they sort of follow the same path they have been from a run rate perspective growth as they're building out their production. Then the 10 million run rate, say by the end of 2027, is not out of the question. And if you think about that number and you put it against Tesla's long-term plan of reaching 20 million by 2030, as long as they have the exponential growth of growing, say, between 40 to 50% per year, as long as they hit that 10 million run rate by the end of 2027, let's say, if they continue on a 40% run rate, say, through the end of 2030, then 2028, they will be at 1.4 million. And then by the end of 2029, they'll be at 1.9 million, whatever that math is, or 14 million, and then 19 million. And then they'll end up obviously at that 20 million mark by 2030. But that's given that their exponential growth continues. They will only be able to do this with a compact car, with this cheaper $25,000 car. So it's going to be very important to see if this compact car is going to be part of the plan for the India factory as well as the Mexico factory. But I think we already have confirmation there. The additional data that we need to get to confirm that 20 million unit is still in play. The compact car will have to be announced to be produced in Austin, which I believe was loosely sort of pointed towards at the investor meeting, the shareholder meeting that Tesla hosted. And then there will probably need to be another, say, 2 or 3 announcements in the next 3 to 5 years from a factory perspective, where they're going to be doing at least 2 million units per year to really get Tesla on that path to reach that 20 million unit run rate by 2030. So even though it feels like we're almost there, we're only 7 years away, I want to remind everybody that back in 2014, Tesla was manufacturing significantly less than 100,000 units per year. And then by 2020, they reached 500,000 units per year, which a lot of people thought was completely impossible and bananas and absolutely crazy. But Tesla achieved it. They just have to do it at a much larger scale. It's going to be super challenging, and there's going to be a lot of variables that will need to be resolved, especially from a raw materials perspective and a supply perspective and a logistics perspective, making sure they have the available trucks and the boats, and there's a lot going on. But it's not outside the realm of possibility. And it seems like when Tesla sets a very large goal long term, they seem to be very good at hitting it. And so one of the things I've been doing to try and really test my thesis here of that long-term 20 million units per year, Tesla has put it out there, and I believe they can hit it, is I've been engaging with folks that are on the other side of the investing aisle, often called Tesla Bears or Tesla Q. And on Twitter, I've started following a significant number of them, at least the ones that haven't blocked me. There's a tendency for some of these folks to just outright block let's say Tesla bulls or people that are positive on Tesla because they feel that they're too echo chambery or too just diluted and not based in reality, which of course I disagree with. There's definitely a small percentage of anybody who's going to be out there, but I think overall the investor community is quite strong. And so I've really started to dig into their thesis to see if I can find any holes in my thesis and what I can sort of make better about how I'm thinking about the company and its valuation and its growth trajectory and how it's performing in different metrics and customer satisfaction and reliability and all this stuff. And so I'm very excited to bring that forward to you all as I continue to learn more from that side. And who knows, maybe I'll find weaknesses that I didn't think existed before. And of course, I'll do my best to bring that forward to you. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I've already started engaging some of those folks to see what kind of responses I get. And of course, it's probably going to be a little contentious and a little awkward at times. But I'm very much looking forward to learn and to continue testing my thesis. And I encourage you, every single one of you, to do the same. If you do have a Twitter account, it's a great place to go in and really start testing your thesis. So I highly recommend you do that. I started doing that not too long ago, and it's been super fun. It's honestly been super fun just stepping outside of your bubble and your place that you're very familiar with, and then be constantly barraged with things, ideas, viewpoints that doesn't even enter your brain. And I think that's one of the greatest things about Twitter, is that it allows you to do that. So I highly recommend you do that. If you're on Twitter, follow me at Farzyness, Farzyness. I'm growing a pretty nice community there. And if you found this video helpful, I would love it if you throw me a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm show this to more people. Thank you so much. So I'm looking forward to bring more videos like this to you. Let me know how you're enjoying this format, a little bit more casual. Kind of helps me formulate thoughts a little bit better. I don't have to worry too much about this producing the video and worrying about edits and stuff. And if you find that helpful, I will continue doing this format moving forward. If you want to support the channel, I have a link to my merch and Athletic Greens in the description below. Athletic Greens is a supplement I use every single day. Free travel packs and vitamin D with your purchase if you'd like to do that, or you can buy shirts from my merch store as well. So without further ado, I'll let you go. I don't even know why I said without further ado. I will let you go. I hope you have a great Friday. I might put out a video tomorrow as well to see, to kind of get you guys caught up on what I'm looking at. And we'll see you then. Take it easy, everybody. Love you guys. Bye-bye.